Welcome to the Spotlight, and I'm Zunaira Saieed. Malaysia, one of the largest producers of crude palm oil, marks its centennial year of oil palm planting this year. As the country celebrates 100 years of commercial planting, there are changes that are needed to face the industry's challenges ahead. And on this note, I will be bringing you an exclusive interview with the Minister of Plantation and Commodities, Datuk Seri Mah Siew Keong. Datuk Seri Mah Siew Keong, who was appointed in June, is preparing Malaysia's crucial palm oil industry for the challenges ahead. Among the issues he spoke about were mechanization, yields, human capital, competitiveness, and certification. He says the industry must be sustainable because of its importance to the economy in terms of exports and employment. 6 months ago, you were appointed as a Minister of Plantation and Commodities. How different will you do things?
5 months has passed very fast, but it's been very interesting, very challenging. As actually around 5 months, I've come to realize how important commodities to the country. I mean, how it actually affects so many people. I was surprised that the number of smallholders are more than 1 million, and those involved in commodities, directly or indirectly, numbered more than 4 million people. And of course, we face a number of challenges, especially in pricing. Especially the smallholders will have a better income. We want to increase their standard of living, so we need to make the price less volatile, being sustainable, and that would involve ensuring that the market is diversified, ensuring that a market is there, and ensuring a bigger portion of the oil palm is converted to downstream.
What kind of initiatives will your ministry take in terms of stagnant yields and labour issues?
Now, first thing is yield. There's this disparity between plantation and smallholder. Now, you're talking about some plantations go up to 20 tons per hectare per year yield, but smallholders around 15. There's a drastic difference of 30–40%. So for this 2017, we are starting again the replanting grant. I thank the government. They have allocated 30 million for replanting grant to encourage the smallholders to chop down their age tree because it's less productive, it's too high. Now regarding workers' problem, we cannot deny it. There is a worker problem. So this problem will continue to persist. Indonesia now, they have upped their wages. Most of our harvesters are all Indonesians. The locals won't do it. In 3 to 5 years' time, I foresee a big problem if we don't mechanize.
Are we doing enough to mechanize the plantations?
What happened is that we have this grant where we give a rebate of 20% to machines, that can reduce manpower requirement, but the uptake is not there. We have certain machines that there are weaknesses, maybe it doesn't reach high enough. That we have to admit that is a problem.
So should there be grants in terms of research and development to actually produce high quality machines so we can actually mechanize the plantations?
Yeah, I agree with you. That is why we think that the way forward is through science and technology. In terms of innovation, in terms of machine, less reliant on labor. That is why we call upon that not only MPOB, but also the universities, the private sectors to look into research. We are not going fast enough, I agree, but we have to really speed up our mechanization, our science and research into oil palm.
Right now, as we're talking about the labour issue, we are having a brain drain issue in the country. What kind of steps can the ministry take in terms of encouraging the younger generation to take part in this industry?
It also goes to the perception that palm oil, a lot of people think that it's not so glamorous, Now, we have to change the perception, and I have talked to the higher education authorities, We have to encourage more people to go back into palm oil, into plantation, because this is the areas that the country has got a natural advantage. Concentrate on how to do the downstream product, how to create value, vitamin E, vitamin A, biomass from it.
High value added industries is important, as you say. Will there be any kind of incentives that should be given to companies to actually pursue that?
The government has grants for oleochemical, for high technology palm oil downstream. So we are talking to a few companies to do that.
Talking about the competitive edge, Malaysia is losing its market share to Indonesia. Our exports to China have dipped about 42% in the first 3 quarters of last year. Are we somehow losing the competitive edge?
Now, on China, the last 2-3 months, our market, Malaysian has overtaken back Indonesia. The first 6 months was bad. It was actually 50% drop. But we are catching up. Now we need to do more marketing. Of course, there are complaints of price undercutting. Now, but we can never challenge Indonesia in terms of acreage because they have got the land. We are not going for increased acreage. That is why Malaysia, we are trying to mark our oil palm differently, that we have standards, you know. We are trying to encourage the smallholders estate to be certified under the Malaysia Palm Oil Certification Scheme, because we are facing this problem in especially many countries, America, Europe, you know, where there are many anti-palm oil lobby group. That is a major challenge.
So can MSPO's standards and certification change that perception of these NGOs?
Now, if we have that standards, you know, we are trying now to get international recognition, and then the buyers will know that they will feel safe. They have no reason to criticize us, you know, because a lot of things are followed. I think this is very important.
Right. You had mentioned about the MSPO standards in October, that it could be made compulsory.
We will make a decision by next year. When will we make it mandatory? And for everybody, because especially smallholders, they are spread all over the place. To get the standards, to apply for the standard involves time, involves cost, and there is yearly auditing. So it needs expenses. Okay. Now, but to me, that is the way forward.
Do companies that already are certified with RSPO, will it be compulsory for them to actually apply for MSPO as well?
There are overlap in standard between the MSPO and RSPO. All right. Now, the RSPO mainly are the big companies. Okay, we are still negotiating. Okay, because most of the companies that got RSPO, they have spent a lot of money on it. They are reluctant to go through another round of MSPO certification. But because there are overlaps in the criteria, maybe we can do a smooth transition for those RSPO to come into MSPO.
Will the industry see a change in CPO export duty to mitigate the loss of market share?
We have not made a final decision. I have asked for a study to be done on the overall benefit to the country, because when you add a system, there will be some losses to certain players, there will be some gain to certain players, but we will combine up and see on the balance what is best for our overall export.
Right, so when will this study be done?
Now, I think there is no hurry right now, because the oil CPO price is still quite good now at this juncture. We also have to, we are now in negotiation with Indonesia, because if we have a different tax structure as Indonesia, then this will put us into head-to-head competition. We want to discuss with Indonesia so that we can have a common tax structure, and that is still ongoing.
Datuk Seri Mah, thank you very much.